How's it going, guys? OzGamer here. Welcome to a new series on my channel. Does not have a name. I'm pretty much just going to call it Fantasy Premier League, which is pretty much going to be the topic of the video. So Fantasy Premier League is what we are doing here, and virtually just what I'll be doing is, so I've got my team. I've already chosen it. I decided not to show you like the selection process because I originally did that. It took so long. It took me like, the video was like 20 minutes, right? So I decided to scrap that and just do post-com at the end kind of thing. What I'm going to do is, so we got the team, and this is obviously going to be the longest video because it's like explaining the process behind my selections. Each week, after each round is finished, I'm going to go and recap and I guess preview for the next round and kind of switch around the team if I need to, make subs, all that, and hopefully I won't have to, I guess, remove players. I think you have like three removals, I guess you could call it. So 3 like substitutions out of the team completely if you don't like that player. And you got a few boosts there at the bottom, which I'm not going to use yet. I'm kind of going to wait after a couple of rounds to maybe find some players that I think will perform on certain games. So anyway, starting off, as you can see here, De Gea in net. The reason I chose him, mainly because I'm a massive United fan, but I think he's a solid keeper in general. He pretty much saved Man United last season with their shaky defense. So even, I think, yeah, Man United, they had the best goals conceded rate, the lowest goals conceded rate, I mean. So that's why I chose De Gea. I think he's got a lot of potential. I think he's going to keep performing this season, and hopefully Man U, with their new defense, can perform way better this season. So moving on to the defense, as you can see, you got Bellerin, Van Dijk, Fuchs, and Alderweireld. Bellerin is obviously a massive player for Arsenal. He's a really good fullback. He's kind of getting better and better as we go, and he can definitely, I think, improve this season. And Arsenal as a team is a solid team in general. Moving on to Virgil van Dijk, who pretty much last season was his breakout season, and he had a decent season. It was like a toss-up between him and Fonte, but they both had the same points. I think Virgil van Dijk is going to be the better option of the two. Moving on to the next, Christian Fuchs there, and he's obviously the left back for Leicester. He's a starter. Last season again was his breakout season in the Premier League, his first season. Got 150 points in his first season, so he's definitely got a lot of potential, I think, which is why I went with him. Leicester as a team is a pretty decent team. They won the league last season. I think they can keep going. I would love to see them in the top half of the league this season. So, yeah, that's why I pretty much chose Fuchs. Then moving on to Alderweireld. Pretty much again, last season was his best season in the Premier League. Got a fair amount of points in the end, 166. Got a few goals and assists as well, which is why I kind of really liked him. I think he's definitely got room for improvement as well. As you can see, he's only been 2 seasons in the Premier League. So I think he can keep improving for Tottenham, and as well, Tottenham is a decent team. I think he can definitely perform for us in this Fantasy Premier League. And another Tottenham player, Eric Dyer here, 130 points as a midfielder is actually pretty good. As you can see from his kind of statistics, he didn't make a massive impact for the team, but I believe he can definitely improve. He's only really had last season as his kind of breakout season, so I think next season he's definitely got room for improvement, and I think he's going to be one of those players that really shines in the Premier League. And that brings us on to Mark Noble, who's been in the Premier League for a while. He's pretty consistent over all the leagues. I think, the points that he's got, 133. So I reckon he can get us pretty much an easy 100 points. It looks like his past points have been pretty consistent hovering around that 100 point. But last season was his better season, and I think he can do well this season, seeing as West Ham is a decent team who's definitely breaking records for themselves as well. Then moving on to Darren Fletcher. Darren Fletcher was kind of just a filler player. I didn't really expect to put him in the starting 11, but Ayew is my other midfielder who will be going in for Fletcher But the thing with Ayew is he's just transferred to West Ham, so I don't know if he's going to be in the starting 11. So that's why I kind of put him on the bench for now. I may make a bit of a change before the round starts if I find out the team, like the lineups and stuff, before the game. So I might put Ayew in the midfield for Fletcher. Moving on to Sigurdsson, who is a player that I just like in general. He's a bit pricey, but as you can see, he's pretty much consistent over the last few leagues. Like last season was his best season, and I think he's going to get better. Like he's just come off the Euros with Iceland, who got pretty far as an underdog as well. So I definitely think Sigurdsson can make an impact this season. He usually makes an impact every season for Swansea, at least the games that I've watched him in anyway. And that moves us on to the forwards. So Vardy is kind of like a no-brainer. Last season was his massive season, and he's pretty much, I think he's going to make an impact again this season. Like he's one of those players who's got like a lot of passion and stuff for the game. So I think he's definitely going to make a impact again for Leicester this season. Moving on to Aguero as well, who is a consistent player in terms of points. As you can see, the past 5 seasons that he's been in the league, he's made, his lowest was 120, but 200. He's got 200 points twice in the league, and last season got 180. So I think he's definitely going to make an impact. He's got a massive team behind him, so I believe he is a perfect choice for the forward alongside Vardy, who I've made captain because I think he's going to perform a bit better than Aguero this season. As you can see, Foster here. Don't know much about Foster. He's kind of just a filler keeper. I just picked him. He looked pretty decent for his price. So there's not really much I can say about him. Just chose him just in case maybe De Gea gets a bit injured. Same again with Paredes. Don't really know much about him. He's only been in the Premier League one season. So he's kind of just a filler defender. He was only 4.5, 4. 4. Only got 30 points last season. Might have to use him as a substitute if I get some injuries or something, but not really one I'd put in the starting 11. And Andre Ayew, I mentioned before, don't know if he's starting or not. He'll definitely be in the starting 11 if I know the team news before the game starts. And pretty much again with Musa as well. He's new to Leicester. Don't know how he's going to go. He might not even be in the starting 11, so I didn't really want to start him. It's over Vardy or Aguero, because I pretty much know Vardy is definitely going to be in the starting 11 unless he's injured. But with Musa, I'm definitely going to keep him on the bench for now, see what Leicester does with him, and maybe change the formation up later on to include Musa if he is performing very well in the Premier League after maybe a couple of rounds or something. So yeah, and as well as that, I've made a league. So please join my league. I'll leave the code in the description. If I get enough people, say about 8, I might do a prize like a gift card or something. So please join that. But that's pretty much it for this episode, guys. I'll see you next episode for the kind of sum up of how that round went. Please like and subscribe, and I'll catch you all next episode. Thanks, guys.